Well, hello everyone, and welcome to SeniorFlix. I'm Pastor Tony Baker from Church in the Village here at Shepherd Village. And today we're continuing our discussion with Jane Teasdale, the founder and co-operator of Mosaic, which is an organization designed to help people in our community that need care in special areas and whatever else. So, Jane, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you for having me.
See you this morning. And we had a discussion last time about how you created Mosaic and what the whole idea was, and you gave birth to this organization that with a notion to really take care of the needs of individuals in our community that weren't being taken care of by other social services in our city. So it was great to hear that you've got such a tremendous program and an outreach. Now, as part of that program, you mentioned something about what makes Mosaic stand out. And could you just go into a bit more detail? What makes Mosaic stand out more than other agencies?
That's a very good question. First of all, we are an integrated model of care and have staff, exceptional staff that have different roles within our organization. So we have client services, we have social work, we have nursing, we have a community resource and social engagement. Her focus is the community and online programs and doing the newsletter. The other thing is that we have received an award, actually, in 2017 from the European Society for Person-Centered Healthcare. And we had written a paper on our model of care, on the meaning of me. So putting the person first and foremost, and processes and framework within Mosaic to have a person-centered care approach.
So you've got worldwide renown there. You're in
We
Europe.
Do, from the UK. From the UK.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So when you went through that, you mentioned something about meaning of me.
Yes.
What is, explain that
The meaning of me is a journey for the individual. And once we get a client, all through our company, through the ethos of our company, person-centered care runs through it. Now, in North America, we have relational care, we have family-centered care, we have community-centered care, all these names, but actually it means person-centered. We are looking at the person as a whole, their interests, their hobbies, their goals, their wishes, what they would like to do. Things that they liked to do in the past, maybe they don't want to do that now. Maybe they want to experience a new moment. And it's also training our personal support workers how to be person-centered. What I find in most organizations is that they say, oh, we're person-centered. But actually, when I ask them, they can't give me the framework or the process that they have within their organization. So that is key. And I think key to keep on getting that information out to the public, why Mosaic is different. So that is in our service structure that we provide, the training for our personal support workers. And it's also about meaningful conversation with the person, especially if somebody has Alzheimer's, dementia, or Parkinson's. That is crucial because you have to keep them connected to the community. You have to keep the communication up, even if they can't speak. You know, somebody to hold their hand, somebody to be more empathic, somebody to be more compassionate in the care.
You mentioned our PSWs, so you actually have your own PSWs?
We do.
You hire PSWs?
Yep.
Tell me about that process. What happens with that?
So we do hire. The hiring process, first of all, we're asking them to look on our website. They may have a telephone conversation first so we can understand about that person, about the PSW, why they want to work at Mosaic, and also to make sure that they've looked at our website about what Mosaic provides. You know, we're not just there providing the medical lens model, but we're there focusing on the community, person-centered care. We're working with all different types of people, so our PSWs have to be very experienced in what they do. We also have insurance, which is important, WSIB, and we also go through an assessment on the phone with them as well, and then we also do a Zoom call. And so they have to show us all their certificates, their references. We have to do the background checks, the police and reference checks, because we want to make sure that our caregivers are the best that are going out.
So you hire these PSWs and then you sort of rent them out to organizations?
So the families pay for our services, so everything is set up. You know, a lot of issues I see in the community with families wanting to pay less for home care. I can't stress how crucial it is if families are hiring rogue caregivers or people that are not connected with a community agency to make sure that they do their due diligence and buyer beware. Because in most cases there isn't insurance, there isn't WSIB, whereas if a family is using a reputable organization, there's a complaint process. You have the client services to go to if there's an issue. You have the communication between the family, PSW. So Mosaic handles everything, and that's why we have to have experienced staff that are working with us.
PSWs are there for all types of people, every age level, aren't they? Because there are some people that are younger that also need some people who have had an illness or maybe an accident and given them brain damage. So you're taking care of those as well.
Yes.
But I think, am I correct, that probably the majority of the people you would be in the elder category?
Correct.
So you have something called Elder Care Plus.
Yes. So
Tell us about that.
That is a layer of our services because we found, especially around COVID, but even before COVID, that families really needed the experience of a social worker. In many cases, many of the franchise organizations and smaller home care do not have a social worker. And we felt that that was key because if individuals weren't connected with a social worker at a community agency level or through home and community support services or a retirement home, the care might be difficult and more complex. We're dealing with Alzheimer's dementia and Parkinson's and end-of-life care. So the families really need somebody that's expertise to take them on that journey to help. In many cases, we're dealing with families that are not living in Toronto. They could perhaps be living in Australia. We've had families in Australia, UK, New York, and the older person is here. And so sometimes we're having to go to the doctors. Sometimes when people are being discharged from hospitals, we have to have a team meeting. So that includes our staff. And then we're writing more lengthy documents, which would be sent to the families. This is an additional charge. So if somebody was looking for somebody like a social worker or they're going into a retirement home, they're needing connection to other community agencies to help them, because Mosaic can't do it all. We have to rely on many of the community agencies as well. They would be paying a fee for that per hour because they're using the expertise and they're using our team. If it is a client of Mosaic, then it's half price for that Elder Care Plus.
As you got that award in the UK, the European thing, but you're also dealing with clients in Australia?
So family members.
Yeah. How do they get to know about you? Do they reference or?
Google, I think. Yeah.
Really?
So SEO and Google, you know, and the more things that we're doing, like we do a lot of podcasts, we do videos. A lot of people may be getting referrals. Families have used our services and maybe another family member may need services. We receive referrals from community agencies, so maybe they're passing that information on.
Isn't that wonderful?
Articles.
So your reputation is spreading, which is tremendous because you're there. Obviously, you've got that focus on helping people. That is like what we do here at Shepherd Village.
That's right. It's a community within a community.
Helping people. And when we talk about helping people, your focus, of course, is in helping that individual, that the families. What about the families themselves? What further things do you do to help those families that?
Listening, providing compassionate, compassion, empathy. I must say that our client services are very skilled in end-of-life care. We've also had a number of clients go through MAID. as well.
That must be very
So we're, yeah, you know, so I think we're there as a support for families. Families specifically look at our model. I mean, they do look at the website, so they do see that we're just not an intermediary model of care of a regular home care, just sending out PSWs without really finding about the person and person-centered care. So that's another thing that which makes us unique. So, you know, families are looking for that expertise. And then also with our client services, so if families run into other issues or they're needing maybe some medical equipment in the home, or maybe they're needing a recreational therapist to do some more work with the individual, or physio.
So you deal with the family and try to give them all the, that's wonderful.
And putting the pieces together. So that's why we chose the
Mosaic. Yes, of course. Thank you so much for your talk today. That was so insightful, knowing that you are such a caring organization, caring for the people in our community when there's so much need out there. That was a wonderful time speaking with Jane Teasdale, so we're so glad you could join us. That'll close this segment for now, but we'll have more coming, so stay tuned and have a good day. Thank you.